Hey guys, welcome to the Centre Bounce. Today we're talking about the $332,000 midfielder from the West Coast Eagles, Dom Sheed. Big J, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good, mate. Always love talking a good, juicy mid-pricer, especially around that 300K. Another one appears. We spoke about Yo. We've got quite a few out there this year, and this guy is well and truly up there with ownership.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he was the king of 2018, won them the grand final, and maybe he'll win us the 50K in Supercoach this year.
I think a lot of people are well and truly are hoping that as well, given how high his ownership is. And I can totally understand why. I mean, the guy is priced at 60 points. And probably if not for his injuries, really holding him back, I think this guy is well and truly capable of scoring more than that, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. One of those players similar to a Yo, who we've spoken about before, who kind of coming off an injury run, but now are looking super fit. And obviously that's respective of his price of 60.
Yeah, and the reports are really backing that up, and they're really showing that he's performing really well. He's one of the standout performers over there at the West Coast Eagles, and even by his own admission, he said if he doesn't play mids this year, then he never will. So, look, if he's healthy and he's getting the role that we all dream that he's going to be getting, well, he hasn't scored below 60 since 2016. So if he's priced at 60 and he's going to be getting a role which saw him score the likes of 122 and 138, 144, 148 in 2019. He's got the ceiling, and he's going to actually have the role to back it up.
Yeah, definitely. And we spoke about this again in the Yo video, kind of how Adam Simpson's building for the future, and that kind of is that injection of mature age, really good players like a Dom Sheed into that midfield. He's only 28. He's doing really well during the preseason at least. And they really need that kind of leadership in there now. I think Kennedy kind of leaving, he was a forward, but offered quite a lot of that. So some more injection of guys who had a premiership run with West Coast into that team helped to guide kind of the younger crop.
Yeah, exactly. And some of that younger crop, like the likes of Jimby, for example, who's already been earmarked to have some rotations in there. Both him swapping with Yo, who we already mentioned in the previous video, and we're going to have a video coming up about Jimby really soon as well, because a lot of people out there are picking him, and by all reports, he's flying as well. So it might be a good idea for our viewers also to have a better understanding of Jimby. But a lot of the improvement, I suppose, when it comes to Sheed and the scoring that he has and the inconsistency that he's had is unfortunately due to his body failing him. He hasn't been able to play as many, have as much CBAs as he probably requires. And in 2020, the records only go back 3 years for the CBA percentage attendances. But in 2020, he started with 53% CBAs. In 2021, it bumped up to 66%. And then last year, he only played one game. But in that game, he had 88% CBAs. So it just goes to show you that, as time progresses and the makeup of the West Coast Eagles is slowly changing over time, it seems like Simpson has a clear idea that he wants Sheed in the guts.
Yeah, definitely true. Like we were saying, he's that player for the future for them.
So, but what are some of the cons, though? I think we've mentioned it. I think in passing, but probably there's one glaring con for him, isn't there?
Yeah, I guess kind of he has had some really big games in the past, and like you've spoken about, ceiling of 148, 144, 132, 122, which is fantastic for a midfielder, especially someone at his price now. The only real negative is kind of his floor, and probably. He has had games of 45, 48, 65, and 66 in that 2019 year. So we kind of look back at those games when he was fully fit, how he was performing. The real question is this year is how are West Coast going to go, and what is their makeup going to look like? Are we expecting them to be that team that just gets steamrolled a little bit like they did last year, which probably won't mean that he will get fantastic scores against other stronger midfields during games.
That's true, absolutely. And there's also, he's had an inconsistent role over the course of the duration of his career as well. A lot of times, being either pushed forward or having to play on a wing. But they've added Jaden Hunt to their team, and he's someone who has shown that he can play a wing position really well from Melbourne. And he being able to run all day, every day, it's insane, his running capacity. So you could end up really having Shade make the midfield his own. Another big issue for him also is of course his body and whether or not he's able to keep playing more games this year. And the thing is, with his price, it's like, all right, say this guy was to get injured fairly early on without having made money. What do you do then? There's not really, I don't think there are too many great options cheaper than him in the midfield. Maybe a Flanders, who's a mid forward for Gold Coast, but he's a bit of a speculative pick at this moment. And, we'll be releasing a video a bit later on about Flanders as well. But it's a bit of an awkward one. With Yo's case, there were a few mid prices in the back line, I think, that you could downgrade to. It just doesn't seem that clear with Sheed in the midfield.
Yeah, I guess you're right, though. Like, if you don't have Hopper for some reason, you can always go to him. Same with Warpool if he has a first couple of good games and Sheed doesn't. Similar thing as well. But definitely, you're right. The back line has a lot more options at this price. And it's almost like, hey, I have to downgrade to a rookie to get guys in that, potentially I've already started with. The one good thing as well, though, is that Sheed really hasn't scored under a 60 since 2016. So what's that, like 7 or 8 years ago was the last time he scored under a 60. So, 60 average anyway. So you're not really missing out that way. There is some safety there. Maybe he doesn't make you 300K, but he should be able to make you some money. And he only has to play the first 5, 6, 7 rounds before you cash him out anyway. What 1 or 2 good scores in there, and you're laughing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot goes up. And I think it also depends as well a bit on the fixture. And his fixture doesn't seem to be too crazy. Looking to start the season, he's got your mob very early on, and I'm not looking to put you down. You guys are, my view. I think you guys are a lot better than a lot of people give you credit for. But when you look at the Eagles team, if they're coming into round 1 really fit, with Nick Nat playing, with obviously Shade playing, Yo playing, Kelly healthy, both Allen and Darling in that forward line, they are actually better than what they showed last year, if not for all of their injuries and COVID wiped them out as well. I think the Eagles still are better than what they showed last year. So they can still put up a good showing. And if they are able to really rally early on in the year and just embrace having a full list for the first time in a long time, a full fit and healthy list, he could absolutely jump up. And with the higher magic number this year at 5.5, if he's able to really outscore his 60 really early on, he could make a lot more money faster.
Yeah, definitely true. Kind of one of those preseason watch type of players. The real question is, Joe, are you going to start him? Is he in your calculations for your team?
Yep, he's in my team. He's in there for now. He's locked in, I think, and he's going to remain there until something changes, I think. What about yourself?
I think at the moment I'm running 4 primo mids. So, and then have space for 2 kind of mid-price guys, and then Ashcroft and Will Phillips, the last 2. So at the moment, Hopper's in, and then it's a toss-up between Warpool and Sheed. So just kind of waiting a little bit more on the preseason reports and things like that to kind of sway me either way.
Yeah, that's very, very good policy. I do say he's locked in, but obviously when I say someone's locked in, doesn't necessarily mean that regardless of if anything changes or if something's better, that means that's it. I'm riding and dying with Dom Sheed. No. I'm just saying that for now, I think of the 2 mid prices, I've got the same structure as you in terms of the 4 primos. And I think you just have to have Ashcroft and Phillips on the field, to be honest, at this point.
Yeah.
And Hopper, I think, is a must for everybody. So it really comes down to what that last mid price is going to be for people, whether it's him or Warple. I'm leaning towards Sheed. If Sheed gets injured or if Warple dominates in the preseason games, then I might just change my mind. But for now, he's in.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. Well, if you like the content, remember to like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, retweet all our tweets on Twitter if you want. We've also got our Supercoach group coming up. So join that. You guys can win some amazing prizes there. I'll link down in the description the information for that as well. Any final words, Joe?
Yeah, please, guys, enjoy. We've got heaps more content coming out. So hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single video. That's coming like crazy, man.
Yeah, definitely. Remember, guys, we do the hard work so you don't have to. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.